Prairies are one of the most important things that we have to conserve, and they are certainly the rarest. Much less than 1% is left.
We have a remarkable diversity out here, over 100 different species.
Fortunately, we had a board member at the time whose name was Mickey Burleson, who herself had restored a native prairie along with her husband.
In doing that, they pioneered the how-to of restoring prairie in Texas.
Those trees do tend to spread out on the prairie, and I'm always fighting them. In fact, next week I'll be doing some spot spraying for some of those trees that I don't want out here, because they will take over the prairie if you let them be.
Word has to travel by word of mouth. People aren't going to do something very personal to their land without talking to somebody who's done it.
We would walk out here and, it might be 5 years before we could see that a seed had germinated, and all of a sudden that plant was everywhere.
So having testimonials from people like Mickey and Bob that we did this and these were the benefits has been very pivotal in encouraging more people to conserve prairie.
But this is the most rewarding, probably is. These are our babies.
There's a combination of things that we're looking at right now, but ultimately I think it's really just to try to work with those landowners and figure out how we can together value these ecosystem services that this land can provide. This land can provide water benefits, it can provide carbon benefits, it can provide grassland benefits and land restoration benefits.
The Clymer family were original settlers. They came from a place where you didn't plow your ground. So instead of doing what everybody else did and dragging a plow through it, once you do that, it really doesn't ever come back in terms of the animal and plant diversity.
And to have a place like Clymer that's available for kids and other people to go out to, they can see it and touch it and learn it and hopefully then appreciate it and want to keep it. We fight this battle continuously that, if you want this generation or any of the next ones to protect something, you have to teach them about it.
You stand on the preserve and all around you, you see the towers and the stacks for industrial development. And you've got, 2,000 acres of native prairie there. And it's open land, open prairie. And when you go out there today, you can see how special that property is to be in that location and to be a coastal prairie.
When people think about the outdoors, a lot of times they look west, they look to the hill country, they look to the Gulf Coast. They don't look at their own backyard. And for that reason, I think the prairie landscapes have been overlooked.
And some of these areas that still haven't changed much are just kind of important for me spiritually, emotionally. It's very regenerative.
This is where I'm going to be buried someday. This is where Bob's buried. And we had always liked this spot, and right before he died, he brought me over here, and he said, that's where I want it. So that's where it is.
What we want to do is make sure that we can keep the land as together as possible, reduce fragmentation, working with landowners to protect a very important natural resource.
And so to come to some understanding of how much had been lost made a real impact on me. And so to do what we could to help keep the little that was still there was important.